All right, so on this short video here, we are continuing our series on the Rites of War for the legions that we missed at the time being. So for this one, we're going to be going through the 4th Legion, the Iron Warriors. If you haven't listened to any of this coverage before, the way we're going to do this, we're going to do a brief refresher, then we're going to take a look at any of the Rites of War, starting with the limitations first to make sure we don't get too excited about something that turns out you can't actually do. So this is Steve's Legion, so I'm going to give the refresher so this way he can make sure he talks about the Rite of War that he runs a lot. So for this refresher, so remembering about the Iron Warriors here, their trait is that if they are shooting or either shooting attack or a melee attack against a dreadnought, automata, vehicle, or building, they get +1 to the strength. So these guys are geared at hitting and hurting the big heavy thing. Their advanced reaction, Bitter Fury, is essentially you get to shoot when the opponent shoots you as normal reaction. You get the +1 shots though on that, but your weapons get hot. And if your weapon previously got hot, you're going to get hot on a 1 or a 2. So you're going to shoot extra back, but you're going to potentially take some losses for it. The other thing that they have very few units in this. They have special bolters, that sort of stuff. Their one special, they have their Iron Circle Maniple and some things like that. So they actually have automata themselves, but that's for that. We'll keep it nice and brief on that. And what we will get to is the first right here, which is the Hammer of Olympia. And that is Steve
Hammer
because
Olympia.
he loves that one.
It's my thing. I love it. I run this all the time, except for when I want to run my Legion, because sadly, our second limitation for the Rite of War is that no unit from this attachment may be part of a deep strike assault, subterranean assault, or flanking assault. So, yeah, if you're in reserve, just walking on the board, which means the drills, which must always be in subterranean assault, are not available. It breaks my heart because it's probably my favorite units in the game. It's so fun. But there's a price that sometimes you just have to pay.
CS Lovey.
The other limitation is that you must include a Warsmith or a Perturabo. Not at all that bad. You're probably taking Warsmith anyway, just so you could talk about your Warsmith, because you're a true Iron Warrior. You have a Warsmith, and they probably hate their job, and
Okay.
everyone around them, and
Okay.
everyone else probably hates them too.
So quick thing before you continue. Dan, what did you just say?
CS, isn't it CS Lovey? No?
Say la vie.
Oh, say Lovey. I speak Spanish.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere near that. Go ahead. Just continue. I can't do it.
All right.
I
So,
don't speak any other language.
so what do we get for those limitations, some of which truly break my heart? Well, all Legion tactical squads, composed entirely of Iron Warriors, selected as part of this attachment, must, not may, must replace Fury of the Legion with this new special rule called Fury of Olympia. That is going to be its entire conversation of its own. We will come back to this. Next, Legion Predator Squadrons, Vindicator Squadrons, Land Raider Proteus Carriers, and Land Raider Spartan models in its attachment ignore crew shaken and crew stunned results on the vehicle damage table. They will still lose a hull point, but they do not get slowed. Basically, they have extra armor from the old edition, which is no longer a thing in this edition. So, hey, look at that. Your tanks are more tanky, but only some of them. Finally, a unit that's entirely Iron Warriors as part of this attachment may re-roll all failed hit rolls of 1 for shrapnel pistols, shrapnel bolters, shrapnel cannons, and Gravis shrapnel cannons. These are the Iron Warriors special shrapnel bolt weapons. Now, that Fury of Olympia thing. What is that? Well, a model with the special rule may add 1 to the number of shots fired making a shooting attack with a shrapnel bolter or a shrapnel pistol, but not with shrapnel cannons, Gravis shrapnel cannons, or any other bolt. Essentially, you get Fury of the Legion on the move with your shrapnel bolters and shrapnel pistols. And I don't believe base Fury works on pistols, only bolters, correct?
Yes, it's on a bolter.
Yeah. So good things, bad things about that. Good thing is this pairs amazingly with that last bit of your effects because you're getting extra shot and re-rolling ones to hit. So your basic tactical Marines putting out 2 shots at long range, 3 shots at short range, and re-rolling ones. That's a lot of firepower.
And the big thing with shrapnel bolters is ranges are a little bit different, things like that, but it's pinning. That's the big thing with them is it's a pinning weapon.
Yup. And that pinning is really nice. I think the biggest issue is the range loss. You
Yes.
really feel it on the shrapnel cannons because going from 36 to 24 is a massive range loss. You don't realize it when you're just reading it, but when you try to field those things and all of a sudden you have a heavy weapon with a 24-inch range, you go, ew. I will say my Iron Havocs that have them, if I get them into good position, can absolutely lay out devastating firepower. Because those guys are ballistic skill 5, re-rolling 1s, and on 6s they get precision shots. So 4 shots a guy with that much firepower, they're going to get a couple precision shots off almost every shooting phase. Which means they're very often picking out squad sergeants and apothecaries, maybe not for, instant death hits or good AP hits, but just to take hits in general. And eventually, they're going to fail safe somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they're taking a morale check, and they're going to get, not morale, pinning check, and then they're going to get sad. So that's, it's nice. The reroll 1s on shrapnels is nice. Fury of Olympia is nice. The downside is you're also paying 2 points per model for that upgraded bolter and or bolt pistol. Bolters, the entire squad has to take the upgrade. Pistols, the entire squad has to take the upgrade. This is a topic of a lot of debate, and I wish I was wrong. But the way the rules are written, a shrapnel bolter is not a bolter. Is not eligible to take a bayonet or a chain bayonet. So if you wanted to take advantage of Fury of Olympia at all, and have a chain bayonet, which is something I would absolutely love to do, you were taking a shrapnel pistol to get 2 shots with the shrapnel pistol before you charge it. I love this Rite of War. It's not what it was last edition, but it does still define the way I picture an Iron Warriors army, at least for myself. You end up with lots of basic troops just running across the field, some armored support assisting the troops, but not necessarily defining the use of troops, if that makes any sense. And they just get in the thick of it and just roll dice upon dice upon dice. It's like orcs in power armor.
Yeah, this army wants to get the full effect. You want a bunch of bodies because you want to be putting these shrapnel bolters. The pistol, sure, but you want the shrapnel bolters on them, and now you actually get your fury. So you get the extra shots with your pinning weapons, and you're getting to re-roll 1s to hit with those. So you want large squads, and you want a bunch of these bodies. You're probably going to need the vehicles, theoretically, even just to be able to punch some of the heavier stuff. Because I think a lot of the rest of your stuff wants to be, big tax squads or other pieces like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really like, I feel like Predator Squad's a better choice. I love Vindicators conceptually, just not with this edition's rules.
Yeah.
So definitely, Predator Squadrons are a nice support choice. But the problem is the heavy support slots are so contested. Last edition used to get an extra heavy support slot with this. Not so this edition. And I feel that loss severely. Because I'm like, I want a Land Raider to transport the squad. Oh, I want some Predators for firepower. Oh, I want Vindicators because I love Vindicators. Oh, I want a Whirlwind Scorpius to, for this. And I want this. Oh, I want that. Everything for Iron Warriors, it feels, is a heavy support choice. And things that weren't heavy support were things I want to put in termite drills, which I can't take in this Rite of War.
Yeah.
It's still a great Rite of War. Absolutely. If you're an Iron Warrior, try this out. Just load up all the shrapnel weapons you can and just laugh as your opponents are pinned left and right and center. But
you're going to get more use out of your general models, which will help with the fact that you're going to run out of spots in your heavies. Your heavies can truly go dedicated, anti-vehicle, anti-heavy items, because you'll be able to pin you'll hopefully have good shots at pinning everything else that you care about.
Yep. I feel like both large squads and Rhino Rush are equally valid for this Rite of War. I haven't tried Rhino Rush personally, but I think just driving up this 10-man squad, popping out the side, and just lighting someone up with shrapnel bolters is going to be effective. And you can make up for the lacking anti-armor needed that comes with all these shrapnel bolters by sticking for almost double the points cost a multi-melta onto those rhinos.
You got a little low there. Did you get a little far from the mic?
Maybe a little bit. I'm just saying, multi-melta rhinos are really funny. They're expensive, especially this. But multi-melta rhinos, 10 guys inside, just hopping out, lighting something up. It's an option.
A little low, but I'll try to adjust that up for listeners.
That's weird because I'm practically eating my microphone right now.
Yeah, it seems a little low, but that's all right. It is time for Dan to talk about the Ironfire.
Yep. All right. And if I'm not, so before I talk about them, I just want to make a real quick rules check before I want to curb my enthusiasm and or be like,
Okay.
can the
Me?
fucking Christ, can the Arquiter take Boxfest shells as an upgrade normally?
It might have been on my side was why you're so low. I might have hit a.
Can the Arquiter take
I don't know.
Foxfest shells
I don't even. What the
normally?
hell's an Arquiter?
It's
That
a
sounds
it's
made
a
up. You're
tank.
making that up.
Legion. It's under heavy support. It's called a Legion Arquiter Squadron. It's the weird. It's what the Death Guard have in 40K that got all mutated and shit.
Oh, the Death Guard one's way smaller. But
Oh, but you know what I'm
you
talking about.
can with a Legion Siegebreaker.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Okay, and let me talk about this. Okay. Oh, okay, let's talk about the Ironfire.
Today on Dan Breaks the Game.
Yes, today on Dan Plays 40K way too fucking much. So, limitations. The detachment using this right of war cannot get deep strike assault, subterranean assault, or flanking assault. Okay, that's shocking. A detachment using this right of war must include more squadrons of Legion Arquitors, Legion Basilisks, or Legion Medusas than it does units that include any models with the cavalry unit type. Cavalry is, I think, is just bikes, isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
And then
bikes, jet bikes, land speeders.
on jet bikes,
Yeah.
okay.
And land speeders.
The detachment with this right of war must include a model with the Legion Consular special rule that has the Siege Breaker upgrade. Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. The effects. Legion Arquiter Squadrons may be selected as non-compulsory troops choices in the detachment using this right of war. Step number 2. Any weapons with the barrage special rule fired by a model selected as part of the detachment using this right of war and targeting up any point within 12 inches of a friendly unit composed entirely of models with the Legion Astartes Iron Warden special rule scatters only D6 instead of 2D6 when firing and using the barrage special rule. Any unit with the infantry unit type selected as part of the detachment using this right of war that is within 12 inches of the final target point of a weapon fired using the barrage special rule by a friendly model gains the stubborn special rule until the start of the controlling player's next turn. And any infantry unit type selected as part of the detachment using this right of war may re-roll any failed armor saves taken against wounds inflicted by any attack made by weapons with the variant of the blast special rule. So you get like 3 heavy without heavy.
It's light heavy, basically.
It's
It's
light
heavy
heavy.
without restrictions.
Now, let me explain to you why I asked that series of questions before I started this. The Legion Arquiter is a very interesting model. Its weapon is, it's not bad. It's not great. It's a normal 5-inch large blast. It's got rending 6-up. It's a whatever. It's a fucking bombard
Strike 10
cannon.
AP4 is not bad.
But okay, but it's got Rend 6-up. The thing is, the AP4, but how about let's do some war crimes? Because apparently you can upgrade it with Phosphex shells. Meaning now you have a Blast 3, Poison 3, Crawling Fire, Lingering Death, Strength 5, AP2. Now you take them in the squadrons and you lay down Strength AP2, Poison 3 up small blasts. Yeah.
Although
do you
your
one
units
better.
get less special
what's
because you're
better?
not taking the re-rolling failed armor saves on it, essentially, when you hit them. All the bonuses are essentially because you're firing so close, so they get buffed to make sure they don't run and get hurt.
I wouldn't worry about that too much if you're only scattering D6, and Phosphex has a 2-inch course correction on top of that.
Exactly.
And you're subtracting ballistic skill. So
Yes.
if you roll a 6, as long as the enemy's bunched together more than you are, you're probably just...
In fact, I don't think you can miss. And they're ballistic skill 4. So you roll a 6, that's a 2-inch move, which you correct. I don't think you miss.
Right. Okay, then you don't. You are getting 12 inches less range doing that because it's 24 instead of the 36.
Of course. Oh no, of course.
And it's a 3-inch. So you are
Then if you hit,
losing size on the blast.
You are, but it's AP2. And then, Dave, you were talking about how it doesn't have barrage, which does suck. I agree with you.
I didn't say
Take-
that.
Oh, I thought you did.
Nope.
Because
Said
somebody
nothing
was like,
about that
oh,
whatsoever.
because somebody was like, oh,
both
it
have
doesn't
barrage.
have barrage. Oh no,
Poss-
because you need to unlock, like, the stubborn rule only
Yeah.
happens if you have the barrage special rule, right? Okay. Take a Medusa shell. Like,
Huh?
just take a Medusa.
Medusas
Earthshaker.
are horrible.
Oh,
They're
Medusas.
horrible.
Are they horrible? Oh.
They're so bad. They're not even in this book, they're so bad.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother publishing that in this book because it's just that bad of you.
Now you're gonna make me scroll up to Medusa's and
For the
Earthshakers.
same points as an Arquiter, you get
Okay.
less hull points. You
Okay.
get maybe the same armor, maybe,
I'll tell you right now. Give me 1 second.
and you get
13,
some of the
12,
worst
10.
stat lines for an artillery piece in the game.
Strength 9, AP 4, Ordnance 1, Barrage, Large Blast, Pinning, Rending 6. Ugh.
Well, that's
Yup.
very similar to the gun on the Arquiter. Just
Yeah,
one
but
less
the other one's
strength.
Strength 10.
And the
Yeah.
Arquiter's faster.
Did they just okay? Yeah, just take more Arquiters then. Who cares about Medusas and Earthshakers?
Anyone that has a soul, Dan. Anyone
Well,
with a soul.
listen, I told you I would break this. Okay?
I don't
I told
necessarily
you-
think that's
Hold
still
on.
broken.
I think you're missing one of the options, though, for that Arquiter, Dan. Have
What?
you taken a look at the Graviton Charge Cannon? Or the
No,
Spicula Rocket System?
The Spiculous Rockets is the Strength 10, is it not? Or no?
No, that's the base weapon.
Spiculous Rock. Yeah,
base
okay.
one
But the
is
Morbus
What was the one?
Bombard
I
is
didn't even know the
strength 10.
Graviton Charge Cannon. 24, Graviton Pulse, Haywire. It's so as a okay.
Did you
It's a
just
massive
gloss over the
blast.
7-inch blast?
Yeah.
Oh, massive blast! Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! Yeah, but okay. So
Yeah.
no. Hold on. I'm gonna say it's shit, and I'm gonna tell you why it's shit because I play Myrmidons. I never, ever in my life shoot my double graviton guns at an infantry squad, and that's 2 small blasts, and I will hit 48 people, and I'll get 1 dead person because you have to wound them on a 5, right? They get their normal armor save, and they get, let's say, an apothecary save on top of it. But then you wound them on a 5 out of like 48 hits, and they still get their normal armor save, and it does
Fine.
shit all. So
That's fine. It's a 7-inch Haywire weapon.
exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
It will make Mechanicum cry. And that's
Yes.
all that matters.
That I'll agree with, because you hit like a nice big Mechanicum
Also
squad.
concussive.
Oh, it is concussive. I do like concussive. What's the other thing? A spiculous? I'm trying to like scroll down here.
This could be under missile weapons.
Spicular rocket launcher, yeah. Ordnance 1, still massive blast, unlimited ammunition. Unlimited ammunition kind of freaks me out because it's that one. I know Dave hates it as well. Well, Dave like hates that thing where it's like, oh, if you roll it, it does nothing for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least
But
with
it-
this one, it's a blast. So, and at that size, it's you're gonna catch something. But if for limited strength 7, AP 4, I'm not as happy with that.
Yeah,
I'd rather take the base on that one.
take the base or take the take a
Phosphex.
mixture of both.
Yeah.
Take the base or take the Phosphex.
Yeah.
And you just laugh because the thing is Phosphex will. So you shoot with the barrage weapons. Is the base one barrage? Is base
Yes.
one barrage?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Shoot with the barrage. Grant your guys stubborn, right, and grant them the reroll armor saves, whatever, and then shoot with your Phosphex and make the entire area dangerous terrain and difficult terrain, and it's AP2. That is disgusting, and I dare say it can be broken, but then it requires you to spam
Well,
the same unit.
okay, I could fix it for you. The Legion Arquiter might be movement 8, but it is vehicle with the subtype of Bombard. You know what Bombard does.
No.
It means you're slow as sin. If you move more than half speed, you just don't get to shoot.
Yeah.
Double checking that now, but I'm pretty sure that's the deal.
Here, I'll
I
check it
remember
out.
the Phosphex, you're down to 24 now, so you can the
Yeah.
opponent can get away. I'm not honestly, the Phosphex is a good option, but I don't think it's not always the auto-includer as much as you say, because like I said, it is a smaller blast. Yeah, I'm not deviating, but if the opponent spaces out, if I space out, you're only hitting like 2 of my models, maybe 3. And you're hitting me at strength 5, which means you probably need 3s to wound. So there's a chance you don't even really hurt me. Maybe you kill a guy. Okay, and there's a bad spot on the board. It's only 3-inch spot. I can try to avoid that. There's absolutely cases where, think about how many times a vehicle explodes or a contempt or something like that explodes, and you have your unit of Terminators there, and on AP dash, you rolled the 1. There goes your
I
guy.
killed
Well,
Praetor.
now you're
I
strength
think that was
10.
Steve's Praetor. That was Steve's Praetor that I killed.
Sure, yeah.
Was it not?
Yeah, well, I wasn't playing the game yet. But there's plenty of cases where the fact that you're strength 10, I don't care you get your armor save. Just fail it and you're dead.
Oh,
And I'm going to hit a bunch of you.
I would still mix and match only to take Phosphex every now and then. I'm
Yes.
not going to say it's an auto take. I'm not going to say it's an auto take. I never did, but I like the fact that you can take the normal gun and also the Phosphex though.
Phosphex is an extra 20 points.
Yeah.
So take 3 tanks, take a squad with Phosphex, and take 2 squads with the Bombards.
I'm not taking that many of that mob. I understand your idea though. But
Also,
yeah,
ugly
if you're
arrow-
running this one, the Ironfire,
Yeah.
you were doing it because you have, the Imperial Guard style artillery units, and that's what
and
you
you
want
also
to see.
hate your wallet. You also fucking hate your wallet.
Yeah, I heard you the first time you said it. Yeah, I haven't looked at those guys. They're not in plastic, so I don't look at them. I have a little
They
bit
don't
of
look great.
Forge World
I
stuff, but I don't look
don't
at other
like
stuff.
to look at them at all. They are the someone's gonna yell at me on YouTube if I say this, but I'm almost like 90%.
That's not what
certain.
they yell at you about on YouTube.
I think they're the predecessors to and I always forget the damn name of it. They're the predecessors to the Death Guard one that got corrupted.
Maybe.
You are wrong, Dan. They are not Plague Burst Crawler predecessors, although they do
Okay.
share a similar body type.
Yeah, okay. I'm not crazy because they look damn near the same.
These guys are bulkier, noticeably bulkier.
Notice
They got 5 hull points.
Yeah.
Do they really?
The Plague
Yes,
Burst
they have
Crawler
5 hull points.
is Rhino side. This thing has 5 hull points. It's a reinforced backwards Sicaran tank,
I was gonna say it's a Sicaran.
but bigger. It's actually
but
wider.
Bigger. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I thought it was just a backwards.
From what I've heard, it's a little bit wider.
You know what? Hold on a
You
second.
can't just reverse a Sicaran. Sad.
Well, I also now have to copy and paste Arquitor because I don't know how to spell it.
Arquit.
I'm just gonna Arquitor versus Sicaran because that has to be on Google. Someone definitely images. Here we are.
Yeah, it's a Sicaran backwards.
No, but okay. So it's. I don't know if it's bigger. I think it's like what is it called? Looker's bias or something like that. It
What?
maybe it's a millimeter wider.
What do you think this phrase is? Looker's bias?
Whatever it is when you look at something and it changes. Here, I send you the Google link real quick. Take a quick peek. Maybe I'm crazy.
You probably are. Let's take a look.
Just take a quick look. Maybe it's a tiny bit wider. I don't think so.
It's almost exactly the same size, honestly.
Yeah. So I was gonna say if it's sicker in size. If it's sicker in size, I think then it's the Plague Burst Caller because sicker and the Plague Burst Caller are burst.
Okay, while you're looking that up, is that really how it's supposed to be say? I say Sicaran, and I'm not going to stop saying that because Sicaran is dumb, and I hate that. But is it actually supposed to be said that way? Because you're both saying that.
But now that Steve said it, it's like stuck in my head. And
say something with confidence, and everyone else will agree.
No,
Sicaran.
I disagree. It sounds stupid that way. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just dumb, and I don't like it.
I'm trying to. I don't think anyone put a side by side next to him.
No. Well,
I
just get
think
one
a
for
Plague
Forge
Burst
World.
is the same size as Sicaran.
No, because a Plague Burst is the size of a Rhino. If you look at a Rhino versus Sicaran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plague Burst crawlers are not that big if you actually look at one.
They're not.
When you go in on Friday, Manny has them. Ask to take a look
Manny,
at them. They're not big.
Look. Oh, they're not. Okay, I got one.
Yeah,
It's like really blurry, but okay. Damn, they look familiar. Like they look stupid level similar though.
All right. That's a bit of a side. Let's get back on topic here.
Yeah.
If you want to bring artillery, this is the right option, but it's very, very specialized. If you don't want these particular models, this is a terrible rite of war. If you don't own the models, it's a terrible rite of war.
It's just a terrible rite of war.
The other one, the Hammer of Olympia, is a very nice. It fits what you're starting with. It would fit the army you're building up. It does limit you in certain ways, absolutely. But if you're kind of starting out, those limitations aren't going to matter as much because you're not going to have some of those special things. That one fits nicely. But if you want to get some, Imperial Guard look into your Iron Warriors, the Ironfire will do that for you. Or technically, what is
I will say though I know
Auxilia.
Dave disagrees with me, but yeah, I think it does approach that guy territory, especially if you take a bunch of them. Because that's a lot of strength 10 blast. That's
I,
just instant death with everything.
You
anytime
feel
you
better. It's
bring
better than It's worse than last edition. This is so much less than last edition.
But you fail 1-2 up, man. Like,
well, I think it's very simple. I honestly feel as soon as if it's not a standard troop, I'm not saying like you shoved it into the troop slot. If it's not a standard troop and you're bringing more than like 2 of it, I think you have to very carefully consider, is what I'm doing over the top. And yeah, if you're bringing tons and tons of Arquitors, what you're doing is probably over the top. I'm not saying it'll necessarily win. You could absolutely do that and lose horribly, but you're making it not a fun game. All right, before we go on too many other tangents, I think we should call it on these 2.